Last night's slips went 0-3. Let's try to bounce back with 4 more slips for today. As always, guys, I am making 4 powers, so all I have to do is hit 1 in 10 to break even, and we're definitely profitable on these since I started doing them. I believe we're up around 4 to 5 units. So let's go make another 4 powers, and these are all going to be different edges, so I'm about to put you on a bunch of game for today. So the first picks are going to be from CS2 and Valorant. These are the standard correlation picks that everyone does and that I've been showing throughout the videos. Want to go with Cypher here. He plays for Bleed on his under 18.5 map 1-2 headshots. They are up against Sampy here. So we're going to go with Savannah on his under 25.5 map 1-2 kills. These guys are going to go within the same direction. If this game happens to be shorter, you could expect both these guys to go under. Now, why are we taking these 2 specific guys instead of anyone else from the team? Well, if we go and check Cypher on Underdog Fantasy, he is set at 17.5 map 1-2 headshots. We're getting a full headshot of value in comparison to Prizepicks. If we go over to Savannah, same exact concept. He is set at 24.5. We have him at 25.5 on Prizepicks. Might as well get that value where we can. So that is the CS2 picks, and we're going over to Valorant, and it's the exact same concept. So CS2 and Valorant are basically the same game, so it's pretty much the exact same format, same round-based game that goes up to 13. So the correlation would be the same. So we're going to go with this guy Klaus on his over 25.5 map 1-2 kills. He plays for Crew Esports. They are up against G2 Esports. So I'm going to go over to G2 and grab someone on the over from that specific team. And we're going to go with IC today. And again, if I show you the value compared to Underdog, Klaus is set at 26.5. We have him at 25.5. That's why we're taking the over. And same thing with IC. We're going to see he's at 27.5 on Prizepicks, 28.5 on Underdog. So we have a full kill of value on each of these plays, as well as the correlation between this stack and this stack. So that is going to be the first format. Moving on to MLB, we're going to go over to the Colorado Rockies and fade them. We're going to be taking unders on their whole team, well, at least 3 players from this team. The first one's going to be Diaz on his under 1.5 total bases. Then we're going to go over to Jack Cave and grab his under 1.5 hits, runs, plus RBIs. And then lastly, we're going to take Doyle on his under half a run. So if this whole team is doing bad, it's likely that the pitcher is doing well and ideally striking them out. I mean, you can't get a total base if you're getting struck out. You can't get a hit, run, RBI if you're getting struck out. And you can't get a run if you're struck out. Yes, technically these guys could hit like in play outs, stuff like that. But generally, if these guys are not getting hits, runs, RBIs, it's more likely that these guys are getting struck out. So if we go over to the MLB Live tab here, you can see they're playing versus San Fran, and you could take Keaton Win on his over 2.5 pitcher strikeouts. It's not a perfect correlation because this is only for the first 3 innings. But assuming these guys don't get their bases or their runs within the first 3 innings, it's more likely that they're going to go under for the rest of the game, of course, because that would be 1/3 of the game done, and then Keaton Win would ideally be striking them out in this case. Now, as always, the juice is important, so if we go over to Diaz here and check his total bases prop, you're going to see some nice juice towards the under, pretty heavy here at minus 135 on the under 1.5. That is great to see. And then Doyle on his runs, let's check him out. Doyle runs, he is set at minus 145 towards the under, so this is even better than that play. And I'm not going to go over to DraftKings to show you Jack Cave, but it's similar. He's at about minus 130 juice towards the under. So these guys are all juiced towards the under, so they're already more likely to go under. And Diaz not getting on base is going to affect Jack Cave's at-bats. It's going to affect Brandon Doyle's at-bats. So these guys are all correlated together to go within the same direction. And then, of course, we got the opposing pitcher who's going to be doing well if these guys are going under. This is going to be the second slip. Now, this third 4 power makes even more sense because I'm actually going to take the hitter strikeouts themselves. So if we go over to Carlos Santana, for example, he plays on Minnesota, and we're going to take his over half a hitter strikeout. We're also going to go over to a teammate and take Miranda on his over half a hitter strikeout. You could probably guess we're going to go over to MLB Live and take the opposing pitcher on Seattle. So in this case, it's Logan, and we're going to take his over 3.5 pitcher strikeouts. This is exactly correlated. So this is not like taking pitcher strikeouts into hits or total bases. It's actually taking pitcher strikeouts into hitter strikeouts. And there is no payout nerf for this. So this is an absolutely broken method. For these guys to hit their hitter strikeouts, they have to be coming from Logan getting a pitcher strikeout. So if Miranda hits in the first 3 innings, then Logan is going to get 1 pitcher strikeout. If Santana also hits, that's going to be 2 pitcher strikeouts. And then Logan will just have to strike out any other 2 players. Of course, Logan could get 4 pitcher strikeouts and not strike out either of these guys. But you have to look at what's more likely. Is it more likely that Logan gets 4 pitcher strikeouts and doesn't strike out either of these guys at all? Or is it more likely that he gets 4 pitcher strikeouts and at least strikes out one of these guys? Obviously, it's more likely for the second thing to happen. So this is perfectly correlated, and you cannot forget the juice. Carlos Santana has juice towards the over here at minus 130, and you're going to see the same exact thing for Miranda with juice towards the over at minus 130. So we're going to pair them in the same entry and pair the opposing pitcher on that over 3.5 pitcher strikeouts. But as you notice, we only have 3 props right now. You guys want to be taking a 4th prop. As always, do not play 3-mans on Prizepicks. You can get 6x on Underdog. Might as well turn this into a 4 power, which is a much better payout. And the player I'm going with is Jaylen Brown on his under 25.5 points. And this is just a straight positive EV play from the OddsJuice dashboard. You can see about a 55.16% chance that he goes under this prop. If this so happens to get bumped, go with Max Juice on his under 4.5 rebounds. And if that gets bumped, there's some options in soccer here. We got Ederson on the under 1.5 shots. And we also have Maximiliano Meza on his under 2.5 shots. So kind of 4 options to fill out this entry depending if there's bumps. But honestly, these guys play at 1:10 p.m., which is going to be about 1 hour after this video goes live. So you might not even be able to get this full slip in. But I'm just going to show it to you for the guys who kind of watch early with the notifications on. I appreciate all you. So this is the third slip, and let's get onto this fourth slip. This last one's going to be a pretty similar concept to that second slip. I'm just going to go over to Cleveland and grab 3 players from the same team here. So Bo Naylor on his over half a total base. Then we're going to go to Manzardo here on his over half a total base. Of course, they both play for Cleveland. And then lastly, we're going to go Jimenez on his over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Again, if Cleveland is doing well, it's likely that these guys are going to be getting more at-bats, and they're going to be able to clear their overs on their respective hits props, or maybe their hits, runs, RBIs props. This slip is not yet complete if we don't go and grab the opposing pitcher, Eric Fedde, here on his under 2.5 pitcher strikeouts. Again, if these guys are getting on bases, they can be getting struck out. So it's basically the opposite concept of what I went for that second slip. One thing to note with this slip is it does start at 7:40 p.m. So if any of these guys are not playing, if you go and see your slip when you lock it in and it says DNP, cancel the slip, because as I said, you want this to absolutely be a 4 power. You do not want it to revert down to a 3 power or even a 2-man, whatever it may be. If there is a DNP in your lineup, you're going to be able to go here and click cancel lineups. And the last thing to check for this slip is the juice. So Bo Naylor on his over half a total base, juice towards the over at -125. Kyle on his over half a total base, kind of flat at that -115. But as I said, that correlation effect is strong, so it doesn't really matter. It kind of boosts that up to like a -125, -130 even. And then for Jimenez here, -125 towards the over on those hits, runs, RBIs. Let's lock these 4 slips in, guys. Good luck, everyone.